Hello students, welcome to Smart World School of Complete Education. Today we'll start with the fourth chapter, Shivaji's childhood. Birth of Shivaji. Those were very unsettled days. Shah Jahan from the north had dispatched a big army to conquer the Deccan. Pune, the principal town of Shahaji Raje's Jagir, was burned to the ground by Adil Shah of Bijapur. Shahaji Raje was in a real trouble. He found himself between the devil and the deep sea and was constantly on the run. Jijabai was pregnant, and the great question which worried Shahaji Raje was some place where she could remain in safety and peace. Then he remembered the Shivneri fort and decided to send Jijabai there. Shivneri was a strong fort near Junar in Pune district. It had steep cliffs on four sides, strong fortifications, and massive doors. This strong fort was then in charge of Vijayaraj, a relative of the Bhonsles. He agreed to give protection to Jijabai. So Shahji Raje left her there and marched against the Mughals. And then the golden day dawned. On the auspicious day of Falgun Vada Tritiya in the year 1551 of the Shaka era, that is on 19th February 1630, to the sound of pipes and drums playing in the Nagar Khana, Jijabai gave birth to a son. All the residents of the fort were overjoyed. On the 12th day, with appropriate ceremony, the child was named Shivaji as the child was born in Shivneri. Shivaji's childhood. Shivaji passed the first 6 years of his life in highly unsettled conditions. Even so, Jijabai did not neglect his education. Every evening she would light the household lamps and then call Shivaji to her. She would shower all her affection on him and tell him stories of Rama and Krishna, of Bhim and Abhimanyu. On other occasions, she would recite to him the devotional songs of Namdev, Dhyaneshwar, or Eknath. Shivaji liked to listen to exploits of brave men. Shivaji felt that on growing up he should also display valor like them. Jijabai used to tell him stories of many pious persons and saints that instilled in him a great respect and honor of all saints and great men. Children from poor families came to play with Shivaji. Sometimes he visited them in their huts and shared their simple meal of onion and bhakri with great relish. They invented interesting games to pass the time. The children of the Mavlas were like birds in the forest. They would imitate the sound of a cuckoo or parrot or tiger to perfection. Their pastime was building small forts of earth and making earthen elephants and horses. They played hide and seek or played with a ball or top. Shivaji joined them in all these games and became popular with them. Shahaji Raje towards the Mughals. Shahaji Raje returned to Nizam Shahi all right, but he did not get any peace of mind there. Nizam Shah himself was a fickle-minded person who readily believed all gossip. Here, many conspiracies and petty rivalries infested the court. This led to the killing of Lakhuji Rao Jadhav openly in the court at the instigation of Nizam Shah himself. Shahaji Raje could not withstand this. Infuriated, he left Nizam Shahi and joined the Mughals. Shah Jahan, the Mughal emperor, made him a Sardar at his court. In the meantime, secretly joined hands with the Mughals, Fateh Khan killed Nizam Shah. There was complete anarchy in the state. It became evident that Fateh Khan was treacherously planning to enable the Mughals to swallow the Nizam Shahi. In return, the Mughals rewarded him with the territory under the control of Shahaji Raje. Shahaji Raje was enraged, so he left the services of the Mughals. He decided to teach them a lesson using all his might, founding a new Nizam Shahi. In order to forestall the Mughal emperor and Wazir Fateh Khan, Shahaji Raje found out a child heir from the Nizam's family and on the fort of Pemgiri near Junnar, declared him as a new Nizam Shah. Thus, he established an altogether new kingdom which included the territory between the rivers of Godavari and Nira. Shahaji Raje fought vigorously to protect the new state. Initially, Adil Shah was with him in these efforts. But later, the Mughal Emperor Shah Jahan himself marched south upon Shahaji Raje and threatened Adil Shah. Adil Shah then signed a treaty of friendship between him against Shahaji Raje. Shahaji Raje now began to fight the joint forces of the Mughals and Adil Shah using guerrilla tactics. But he could not sustain the war all by himself. In 1636, unwillingly, he signed a treaty of peace with Mughals. He could not create his own kingdom as the times were not favorable for him. but his daring spirit kindled confidence among the Marathi people. This proved useful for Shivaji in establishing Swaraj a few years later. Jijabai and Shivaji in Karnataka. After the downfall of the Nizam Shahi established by Shaji Raja in its territory was divided by the Mughals and Adil Shah amongst themselves. Shaji Raja's Jagir of Pune, whose supe lay within Adil Shah's share, he gave it to Shaji Raja on his behalf. Now Shaji Raja joined the Adil Shahi service. Adil Shah assigned to him the task of conquering the districts and territories in distant Karnataka, far away from Pune. Sometime after the departure of Shahaji Raje to Karnataka, Jijabai and Shivaji also joined him there. Shivaji's childhood in Maharashtra had been very hectic. He and Jijabai had to rush continuously from one fort to another. At that time, young Shivaji used to hear the stories of brave deeds of his father. Jijabai and Shivaji got some peace when they arrived in Karnataka. Shaji Raje defeated many kings in Karnataka. Adil Shah awarded him with the Jagir of Bangalore. Shaji Raje then made the city of Bangalore his headquarters. He lived there with all the trappings of king and began to summon the court. Now let's look at the exercise. First, fill in the blanks. Shivaji was born on the Dash fort. Options are Purandar, Shivneri, Panhala. B. Adil Shah assigned the task of conquering the territories in Dash to Shaji Raje. The options are Karnataka, Khandesh, Konkan. Second, write the answer in one sentence. A. What did Shivaji feel due to Jijabai's teaching? B. What games did Shivaji and children of the Mavalas play? C. Why did Raji Raje leave Nizam Shahi? 3. Write the answers in 2 or 3 sentences. A. Whose stories does Jijabai tell Shivaji? B. What did Shaji Raje declare the child heir from the Nizam Shah family as new Nizam Shah? The activities are A. Make a trip fort to Shivneri Fort and collect information about the birthplace of Shivaji Maharaj. B. Make a list of traditional sports and write a note on them in 10 lines. Thank you.